Not everyone is born into a homeland of lush mountains and clear waters. This is a magical land. It appears so three-dimensional, so desolate yet magnificent, but it hides an extremely deadly cancer of the earth. Here it's hard for anything to grow, plants are scattered, and the land is riddled with countless ravines and gullies. Is there a way for us to change this? Of course there is. The Geometry Planet Research Institute is joining forces to launch this planetary transformation project. The operation is codenamed gAwFDypGeg. Looking around, the rocks on the cliffs on both sides are covered with red and white stripes, creating a truly spectacular sight. Yet the truth is, the more beautiful it is, the more deadly it becomes. Look, this type of rock has a very peculiar property. If we just soak it in water, it quickly tightens from the inside out. After a short while, it turns into a pile of mud and sand. This is called arsenic sandstone. Over the past 300 million years, this place has experienced a variety of environments, including coastlines, rivers, and lakes, which have deposited massive amounts of silt. Later, these sedimentary layers gradually transformed into a special kind of rock that rapidly disintegrates when exposed to water. Even more seriously, when rainfall comes, it causes astonishing levels of soil erosion, which is why it is called the arsenic of the earth and the love of the planet. This is gAwFDypGeg in Ordos, Inner Mongolia, where arsenic sandstone makes up nearly 76% of the land. On top of that, the Kabuki Desert cuts right through the area, making survival and development extremely difficult for local people. Looking at the bigger picture, the entire arsenic sandstone region, located at the junction of Shaanxi, Shanxi, and Inner Mongolia, accounts for only 2% of the Yellow River Basin's area, yet it is responsible for the formation of the suspended river section in the lower reaches of the Yellow River. Historically, nearly a quarter of the total silt deposited in the Yellow River comes from here, posing a serious threat to the river. It's time to launch this planetary transformation project, but first, let's travel through time and go back 40 years. In this era, when silt and sand flowed together, no one could have imagined that an inconspicuous plant would be the first to take on the heavy responsibility of transforming the planet's surface. The plant we're planting now is called sea buckthorn. Don't be fooled by how fragile and delicate it looks right now. In fact, it's incredibly resilient and can thrive in these ravines of sandstone where water flow is relatively abundant. People planted sea buckthorn in a crisscross pattern, arranging them in a V-shaped formation with the opening facing toward the direction of the Lai River. When the rain pours down, they act like a giant sieve, trapping nearly 70% of the silt at their roots, forming a living dam that continues to grow and strengthen. This is known as the sea buckthorn flexible dam. Wow, this thing has sharp thorns. Ouch. They're really stabbing me. They're aggressively attacking my legs like crazy. These plants have a lot of thorns. They're sea buckthorn, and the two slimmer ones next to them are willow. Over 10 years ago, a group of scientists came here and planted an upgraded version of the flexible dam. These are made by mixing sea buckthorn and willow, creating a more complete ecological plant community that can intercept silt and water even more effectively. Ah, don't poke me. This patch of sea buckthorn is just too dense, and it's even taller than I am. I really can't get in there. But what's interesting is that the fruit of the sea buckthorn can be made into many processed products, which increases income for the local villagers. For example, sea buckthorn juice. Tastes sweet and sour. But since a small amount of silt still flows out with the water, well, we need a second line of defense. The low mountain gully behind it has just experienced a violent rainstorm, and there was even hail. Now let's go see how effective this line of defense is. After the rain cleared, a tall dam emerged in the valley. Right beside me is a dam over 10 meters high. It stands guard at the end of a gully, blocking water and soil. The vast flat land formed by siltation is covered with green grass. It's nothing short of a green miracle. This is a silt dam. In gAwFDypGeg, thousands of similar dams, both large and small, are scattered throughout the sandy rock ravines. Not only do they work together with plants to capture all the sediment produced by the sandy rock, but they've also given rise to countless beautiful little oases. Although these projects can continuously intercept sediment because sandy rocks disintegrate when exposed to water, sediment will still be produced endlessly. Is there any way to truly stop it at the source? After much consideration, the people of gAwFDypGeg came up with a bold idea to transform the sandy rocks themselves. Farmers who struggled on the sandy rockland spent more than 30 years completing a remarkable transformation project. This is crushed sandy rock, which is similar to river sand and has a certain degree of water and air permeability. This is farmyard manure and loess. They can bind the particles together without making them overly compact. By thoroughly mixing them in a ratio of 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, it becomes a sandy soil suitable for plant growth. Do you know what can be grown in it? That's right. After more than 30 years of transformation, the villagers actually managed to grow apple trees all over these hills. As these fruit trees grew larger, they also helped reduce soil erosion on the sandy rock hills. Interestingly, in the past decade or so, some scientists have also carried out a different kind of sandy rock experiment in the ravines of gAwFDypGeg, following a similar approach. Although I may look a bit disheveled right now, I'm actually doing a very important and meaningful job, because by carefully spraying this solution, I can make this entire P30 rock wall much more solid and stable. These chemicals can penetrate deep into the sandy rock and react chemically with the minerals inside, not only suppressing the expansive properties of the rock, but also strengthening the adhesion between rock particles, making the sandy rock much more solid. Moreover, this kind of improvement agent is environmentally friendly and does not affect the growth of vegetation at all. Later, scientists sprayed and injected similar agents in several small catchment areas of sandy rock, causing the loose sandy rock to solidify, and even allowing a lot of vegetation to grow, giving the ecosystem a completely new look. If such large-scale improvement projects still don't impress you, don't worry, because we are about to have a true heavy machinery army. However, hidden beneath these vast and impressive formations lies an astonishing and remarkable wealth of valuable coal. Over the past more than 200 million years, the land where the sandy rocks formed has repeatedly experienced the accumulation of coastal and inland swamp environments. The massive amount of plant remains eventually turned into abundant coal, making gAwFDypGeg the county-level administrative unit with the largest coal reserves in China. Its proven reserves exceed 58 billion tons. Moreover, the coal seams here are very close to the surface, so people only need to conduct open-pit mining to awaken treasures that have been sleeping for hundreds of millions of years. But problems soon follow. After open-pit mining, the surface will be left with huge pits. Is there any way to restore such massive craters? Yes, and that is to create a giant army of machines. These super heavy-duty trucks, shuttling day and night through the depths of the mine pits, have a load capacity of over 360 tons and are truly steel giants. And the even more massive steel behemoth behind me is Asia's largest mining excavation machine. It weighs 5,300 tons, its boom is 110 meters long, and its enormous bucket holds 90 cubic meters. This bucket can fit more than 1,000 people, even if they stand in 2 layers. They remove the topsoil, exposing the underlying arsenic sandstone, and then blast it layer by layer. Each layer more than 100 meters deep underground is revealed. Afterwards, the blasted rubble is backfilled into the mined-out pits, layer upon layer, pushing earth and broken stones to build giant steps as tall as mountains. It is the rocks above these coal seams that form these man-made mountains. But they are not the end goal, because ultimately, we want to restore greenery here. So people cover the rubble with the excavated topsoil, reshaping the surface, and also build all kinds of small cement structures. This prevents soil erosion, and then for several consecutive years, grasses, sea buckthorn, and other plants are grown to gradually improve the soil quality. By transforming the nature of the land surface, people can finally plant trees and restore greenery, enabling forestry and agricultural production. At last, the mining pit is brought back to life. The barren land is completely transformed, and it has even been developed into a mining ecological tourism area. After more than half a century of effort, this land, which was originally lacking in natural resources, has been completely transformed by human hands. And today, this planetary-scale project to restore green mountains and clear waters continues in gAwFDypGeg in even more ways. New and innovative paths of transformation are constantly being forged. People are transforming the invisible wind and the everlasting sunlight into an inexhaustible supply of clean electricity and using this electricity to produce hydrogen. They store and transfer this energy to places where it is needed most. This cycle repeats endlessly, sustaining life without end.